But I got you niggas. I got y'all, dog. Let's talk about it, dog. Won't talk about it with you niggas tonight, man. Quitting Rampage Jackson's son, Rampage Jackson, beat the shit out of some wrestler. Hit his head over the head with a can, and shit, he fucked the white boy up, dog. Nah, people snapping on him. People like, oh man, bro, they talking about attempted murder and shit. They talking about some wild shit with this man. They want blood with this nigga, dog. But this is what you get, Quentin Rampage Jackson. You just keep bringing the racist white people around, niggas. Nigga, this shit is some wild shit, bro. Well, we gotta run down who Quentin Rampage Jackson is and who, you know what I'm saying, his son is, and just the circle they carry themselves in. Cause that's, to me, that's key to all this shit, right? So Quentin Rampage Jackson is one of the greatest UFC fighters we've ever seen. He's a black man from Tennessee, black American man from Tennessee. Amazing fighter. Motherfucker had talent. He went overseas, he fought in Japan, kicked ass over there, came back, joined the UFC, right? This is the early days of the UFC. This ain't the UFC that you know now, you know what I'm saying? It's the younger days of the UFC. And Quentin was kicking ass. He was kicking ass. He was one of the catalysts for making the UFC more and more popular. You know, bringing in a more diverse fan base, bringing in a more edgier fan base, bringing in a more consumption fan base, right? Quentin Rampage did that, right? And throughout that, he attracted an audience that can always come back to bite you in your ass. And kind of what happened in this situation, dog. You fight the bullet, keep the bullet. You feel me? And that's exactly what happened. He introduced his son to a certain demographic that is very hateful, but Quentin Rampage Jackson knows how to navigate through that, right? But that doesn't mean your son know how to navigate through that hatred. So, you know, the guy, I don't know. He might have thought Quentin Rampage Jackson's son knew it was some type of fake, some type of wrestling shit. So, bop! He hit his son over the head with a beer bottle. So what he did, he hit Raja Jackson over the head with a beer bottle, which made Raja snap because Raja is a trained MMA fighter. So he gonna fuck shit up, right? And that's exactly what he did. He waited till the guy was in a wrestling match, shit going on, decided to pop, drop him on his head, right? And then decided to beat the shit out of him, right? Now, I don't agree with him beating the shit out of an unconscious man. I do not agree with that. I feel like you have to have some self-control and some withdrawal. You feel me? You can't just be too reckless. You feel me? So regardless of his emotion and the things that build up, I fully understand you can't do shit like that, right? But the problem with that is, my nigga, your father has created this aura around you that makes them feel like they can do these things to you. You feel me? You know, it's not pretty, dog. Let me just give y'all some of the footage. Shit not pretty, dog. This shit is not pretty at all, dog. I'll be the first nigga to admit that's not a pretty scene. That's very gruesome. You feel me? I will be the first person to admit that is a very gruesome look. When you see a man on the floor getting his ass beat that bad, this shit is wrong. So I'm hoping, bro, say it's fake. I'm hoping it's fake, bro. I truly do. I hope it's fake. Um, I hope that it's not real. I hope that he didn't beat that man that bad. But truth be told, bro, that shit looked gruesome. I'll be the first one to say it looked gruesome. If it's fake, if it's actually fake, that'll actually be like shit. That'll say this motherfucker. But if it's real, I'm gonna go by it's real, right? If it's real, that motherfucker in trouble, dog. He to me it's real because the nigga already lost his kick account. Now, for people that know about them kick accounts and shit like that, that's a revenue of tens to hundreds of $1,000s that's just gone. Just gone. I don't think you fake losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, though. I just don't see how you fake that shit. So, could it been fake? Possibly. I doubt it. I really feel like that nigga got emotional about some shit that was a game, right? Cause you know in that UFC world, you gotta be a little off your rockers to be in that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know them UFC niggas just from being in them gyms. You know them UFC niggas, them niggas a little off their rockers. All them niggas, they a little off their rockers. To be involved in some shit like that, you gotta be a little off your rocker, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, bro might be in some hot water. You know what I mean? Bro might be in some hot water because you don't know how that shit go down, dog. Shit be real, bro. Shit truly be real. And Quentin Rampage Jackson, here's my thing, right? Quentin Rampage Jackson, you gotta be real with yourself, bro. You created a certain aura. You created and amassed a certain audience around yourself. And when you propelled yourself into that kick screamer and twitch screamer, you brought your son into it, right? And your son might have not been ready for that bullshit, right? Cause Quentin Rampage Jackson has an extremely anti-black audience. Hear what I'm saying? Quentin Rampage Jackson has an extreme anti-black audience that he knows kind of how to maneuver through, so it's not a big deal for him. I mean, just like on one of his streams not too long ago, he had some Japanese girl, Asian girl, some type of Asian girl, calling him the N-word. You feel me? Just snapping on him, right? Just obviously that's so wrong for so many reasons, right? But Quentin Rampage Jackson just ate it and called it a day, right? Act like it was nothing serious, right? Which is wrong. Very wrong. So he already has a very poorly orchestrated crowd, right? He has that. So in the midst of having that crowd, he brings his son in. He's very aggressive with his son. And I like Rampage. I love the duality that him and his son had, but I also understand the anti-blackness that Rampage Jackson, performed and put on his son. You feel me? And a lot of that shit, it's a mental thing that you have to fight. You know what I'm saying? So, his son deals with that, right? So, when you have this white wrestler hitting you upside the head with a can of beer, it becomes something, dog. Because just a few days earlier, for those people that was watching, just a few days earlier, Rampage's son was kicked in the head. Raja was kicked in the head by a sparring partner, and the dude was like, bro, in sparring for them UFC niggas, they don't go too hard. But he went hard on him, bro. He snapped on him, bro. And he kind of fucked him up with that one. He kind of fucked Raja up, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of went away. They let it slide. And that's the biggest issue, letting shit slide, because shit build up. So now he don't let some shit slide on stream. Motherfucker almost knocking you out. So now, time evolves, time goes on. You fuck around, you get linked up with this white boy. Pop! He hit you over your head with a can. Now you still tripping off of what this motherfucker just did to you a few days ago. Now you tripping off what this white boy done did to you during this wrestling match. And that's how that shit goes sometimes, dog. So, it's wild, bro. It's a wild one. I don't know if it's real or it's fake. It could be fake. If it's fake, that should be wild. But the only reason I say it's not fake is because that nigga lost his kick account. That's a lot of money, bro. When it's hitting your pockets, bro, that's when I started being like, I don't know if it's fake, bro. I don't know. But we'll check and see. We're going to see how this shit go. Bro. That's the first topic I'm finna cover. Y'all keep rocking with me. We finna get into this Drizzy Drake. Before I get out of here, we finna get into this Drizzy Drake buying Tupac's pendant, his chain. This was an interesting one, dog. So over the weekend, Drake, who has been going through a lot with this Kendrick Lamar lawsuit that he's having with UMG, right? People feel different ways about this lawsuit. Some people feel like, why are you bringing Kendrick into it? Some people are like, is Drake versus UMG, Drake versus the label, Drake versus the establishment, right? I don't necessarily believe that. I don't at all, to be honest with you. But could it be true? Maybe. I ain't gonna dismiss nothing. I'm gonna leave all doors open, right? So this weekend, some interesting updates, right? Now, one update is, gonna keep it real with y'all. The court is seriously looking into Drake's affiliation with young women and minors. You can look this up. This is public information. Drake, for whatever reason, he's been associated with younger women, right? This is information. I'm not just making this shit up. You can check it up yourself. Please check it up. Do your research, right? But nonetheless, Drake is in court for that. And now, Drake over this same weekend has purchased Tupac's iconic pendant, the Death Row chain. I don't know how to feel about this one, bro. This one is very interesting because Drake buys Tupac pendant, right? And Kendrick in my opinion, Kendrick, if you cherish Tupac and respect Tupac, you gotta start buying some things so that Drake doesn't get a chance to even take them. Now, here's how I feel about Drake buying Tupac's pendant, right? I feel like I really don't give a fuck. Let me tell you why I don't give a fuck in this situation, because all of Tupac's memorabilia, all of a lot of artists' memorabilia is into the hands of people they've never met and they have no dealings with, bro. So how could I be mad at Drake buying Tupac's pendant, knowing damn well it's a guy in India somewhere, some rich billionaire in India that has Tupac's ring? Why would I give a fuck, for real, for real? Why would I give a fuck? Because there's a lot of people that's not from the soil, that's not from the cut, that's not from the culture, that has things that's very prominent to the hip hop culture. So why the fuck would I give a fuck about what Drake does? I look at it almost like shit. If not Drake, who else? Because at least Drake is a participant in the culture. So in this one, I have to almost side with Drake a lot more, bro. Because it's like, Kendrick, buy some shit. Spend some money on some shit, dog. Get some shit. Get some connections. Get those properties. Get those assets that you believe means something to the West Coast, means something to black culture. You feel like Tupac means something to you? You feel like Tupac has done things great for the culture? Buy some of his memorabilia, dog. Make sure it doesn't get into the hands of these weirdos. Drake is buying it. Now, you may feel Drake is a weirdo, you feel me? But Drake is buying those things. Drake is doing those things. So I cannot be mad at Drake. I just can't, bro. Do I believe Drake is buying them in some hopes of making hip hop great again? Fuck no. I believe Drake is, out for self. I believe he's trolling Kendrick. I believe he's, giving the West Coast his ass to kiss. But it's up to the West Coast to stand up and be like, fuck this nigga, you feel me? It's not even just the West Coast. It's up to hip hop to stand up and be like, fuck this nigga, you feel me? But the business of hip hop will keep niggas from doing that shit. Hear what I say? The business of hip hop will keep niggas from doing that shit. Cause business is business, dog. So, on this situation, Classic Malone spoke on it. He said, you still can't sit with us. You can buy the ring. Fuck nigga, but you can't sit with us. And I get what Glasses is coming from. But at the end of the day, the big dogs, Drake and Kendrick, you know what I mean? Niggas gotta make moves, dog. And niggas is gonna get you any way they can get you. So I can't be mad at Drake for being this type of nigga. I just can't be, bro. It is what it is. It's your nigga Delvin wrong to the next one. Kick me with you niggas tonight. I'll check you niggas next time, dog. Get some money.